The doctor looked at my pregnancy scan and urged me to divorce. I didn't know my husband had shown up and done it all alone by himself there. Can you imagine looking at the person you swore to spend forever with, only to discover they were actively trying to poison you and your unborn child? Because that's exactly what my doctor told me, right there on the ultrasound table, turning my entire world into a nightmare overnight. She didn't say, "Everything looks great." She said, "Candace, you need to leave your home. Now." 1 second, Dr. Voss was gently gliding the ultrasound wand across my belly, pointing at the screen, explaining my baby's tiny measurements. The next, she just froze. Her hand stopped moving, but her eyes, oh God, her eyes went somewhere else. She leaned closer to the monitor, typed furiously with her free hand, pulling up my blood work from 2 weeks earlier. She stared at both screens, back and forth, like she was reading a sentence that made absolutely no sense. She didn't say, "Everything looks great." She didn't say anything for almost 30 seconds. And if you've ever been lying there 14 weeks pregnant, watching your doctor go utterly silent, you know that 30 seconds feels like an entire lifetime.
My heart was pounding out of my chest.
Then, she set the wand down, wiped her hands, and in a voice too quiet, too serious, she told the nurse, "Can you give us the room, please?" The nurse left, and Dr. Voss turned to me, her voice barely a whisper. "Candace, I need to talk to you in my office. Right now. My name is Candace Holder. I'm 31 years old, living in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I work as an inventory coordinator at a regional furniture warehouse. You know, the kind of place where people buy giant sectional sofas on 12-month payment plans and then argue about whether espresso brown and dark walnut are the same color. They are, by the way, but I don't tell the customers that. I'd been married to Julian Sorrento for 3 years, together for 5. He's 34, a fleet dispatcher for a trucking company. When I met him, he was that specific kind of charming, the man who remembers your coffee order, texts good morning every single day for 6 months straight until you think, okay, this one actually cares. We weren't even trying to get pregnant, so when I told Julian, he hugged me. He said all the right words, the perfect words, but his eyes didn't match his mouth. There was this flicker like a man doing rapid-fire math in his head. I told myself it was nothing. Hormones, anxiety, my imagination. Then, around week 6, Julian started doing something he hadn't done in the entire 5 years we've been together. He started cooking. Well, smoothie making. Every single morning, a wellness smoothie with spinach, frozen blueberries, flaxseed, vanilla protein powder. He'd have it waiting on the counter with a little sticky note, always for my 2 favorites. Before the pregnancy, Julian's idea of preparing food was ordering Domino's and calling it providing for the family. The man once tried to boil pasta and forgot the water. So when he suddenly transformed into a smoothie chef, I bragged to my coworker Patty about having the most thoughtful husband in Lackawanna County. Patty said I should rent him out like a library book. I laughed then. I'm not laughing anymore. In her office, Dr. Voss pulled up my blood work again. There was a compound I'd never heard of, elevated significantly. Something found in prescription medication that's incredibly dangerous during pregnancy. And then don't miss the end, watch full story, it's link attached below.